All right, so we're on to 10.5, which is absolute value in open sentences. And this section is not too bad if you've gotten the hang of everything else, except for one thing. You must memorize the following patterns that I'm about to show you. Because if you don't, you will not know what to do and you will not be able to correctly translate a problem. It's not that much to memorize, so memorize it. Okay, it'll do yourself a favor, do me a favor, and memorize it as soon as possible, because then you won't have to, you'll be able to practice it many times before you get tested on it. Okay, and before I actually tell you what you need to memorize, you need to note that the 3, when we have in here, can be changed for any number, so it does not have to be 3. It could be 5, it could be -3, it could be whatever. Okay, it is just an example number. You'll see that when I actually give you examples with the problem. Now, the less than sign, we have right here, can be replaced with a less than or equal to. It will work the same way. Likewise, the greater than can be replaced with a greater than or equal to sign. Okay, again, it works the same way, it's the same pattern. So what you need to memorize is actually the stuff that's really bold, okay? And you need to memorize what goes with what. Basically, you should already know this, that if we have the absolute value of x equals 3, what does x equal without the absolute value signs there? X equals -3, because the absolute value of -3 is 3, and it also equals 3. It's one or the other. It's an or statement. So x equals -3 or x equals 3. So you need to know that this links with this. So if you find something like this, you can rewrite it like this. If you have the absolute value of x is less than 3, this is telling you that x is less than 3 units away from 0, or wherever its starting point is. It can't be any further. So therefore, x has to be in between -3 and 3, because it can't go any further than 3 units away. So if you see the absolute value of something, or x, is less than 3, then you can rewrite it like this. And lastly, you have the absolute value of x is greater than 3, means that it has to be more than 3 units from 0. So it has to be written as x is less than -3 or x is greater than 3. It has to be more than 3 units away. Now, these are the patterns. You're going to have to slightly adjust them when you actually use them in example problems, and I'm going to show you. So if we have this first one, it says solve the absolute value of y minus 2 equals 4. Hopefully you already know this when we did this before. We basically have to figure out what inside the absolute values will give us 4, but we're going to do it mathematically. We're going to say that y minus 2, we're taking the inside of the absolute values, just like the inside here. I guess I could have also noted that x doesn't have to just be x. It's whatever's inside the absolute value signs. So like this one, what's inside the absolute values? Y minus 2. So that's what I'm going to put. Y minus 2 equals the negative version of this number here, which will be a -4. So I take the inside of the absolute values, which happens to be y minus 2, and I make it the negative of the number. Or I'm going to take, again, the inside, so y minus 2, equals, and it's going to equal the positive form of the number. So, oops, it's not 3, that's from the example. There we go, it's going to be 4. Once you've written this out, you're going to solve it just like a normal OR problem, okay? So I'm going to add 2 on both sides, and I'm going to get y equals -2, or add +2, y equals 6, and I'm just going to write it as a solution set. So your solution set would be -2, 6. Those are the only 2 answers. Y can either be -2 or it can be 6. So that one should be kind of old news. This one, we have solve x plus 1 is less than 3, or less than or equal to 3, and graph its solution set. Well, first, we need to go back and look at the pattern because we have not memorized it yet, I'm assuming. You see I have a less than or equal to sign, so I'm going to use this one right here, okay? So I take the inside the absolute value, which happens to be x plus 1, And then, oh wait, I wasn't even looking over here, okay? I have to look over here. So I take the negative of the number, which will be a -3. Then I'll have the less than or equal to sign, because that's what I'm using in my problem. Then I'm going to, instead of x, I take whatever's inside the absolute value, which is x plus 1. Then I do the less than or equal to sign. And then I do the positive number, which in this case is 3. So once I rewrite this, it is now an conjunction, an and problem, so I can solve it. So I subtract 1 on every side. I get -4 is less than or equal to x, which is less than or equal to 2. This is my answer. And I know I can easily graph its solution set because -4 and 2, and I know x has to be in between and it's included. So close dot, close dot. And my last one. Okay, so it's a greater than sign, so I'm going to be using this pattern right here. So I got to look over here. So I need to take the inside, which the inside is t minus 3. And then I got to look back up. Then I'm going to take the less than sign, even though this is greater than, we're taking the less than sign of the negative number of it. So we'll have the less than sign of -2. And then I'm going to have or the inside of the absolute value. Oops, didn't mean to move that. Or the inside, which was t minus 3. And then I'm going to take the greater than the number. So I'm going to do greater than the number, which is greater than 2. So now I can solve it. So I add 3 on both sides. So I get t is less than 1, or add 3. T is greater than 5. I can graph it, which gives me 1, 5, open circle to the left, open circle to the right. There you have it. Okay, again, so we're taking these example patterns, so it's basically whatever's inside the absolute value. Depending on what sign you use, then you use one of these patterns. And then instead of the number 3, you use whatever number you have. It'll take some practice, but you will not be able to do it unless you memorize this. The sooner, the better.